It's not going. There we go. Let's try it one more time there. I think I just fixed it. All right. Just a little higher. All right, so I'm gonna try to see if I can publish this for people too. All right. So, hello everyone. Just published some publicity there for people. I'm hoping that everybody uh, is having a great holiday season here. And just see if I can also full screen this here. There we go. Alrighty, so welcome to some Champions League coverage here. We've got my regional buddy Eric Hunter, who won the Kashyyyk League, and he's playing David Center, who won I believe, won the Ohio League, not now, hold on, what am I thinking about there? The Karelia League. Um, I think he won it last year. And I think this should be the last game here that they need to play. Just taking a look at some of the results here. If I'm not spilling everything, we got here the last game actually left. Eric Hunter has quite a bit of differential versus David Center here, so it's something I think that Eric probably has um, shown up here. So we'll see how it all works out for people here with this last match of that pod there. So Eric is probably the favorite, if you will, coming in to this match here based on his prior performance here, and we'll see how it works out. So no idea versus Invasion. So clearly an off meta deck from David Center. I've played against him a lot. He's a really nice guy. Really enjoy. He's a really nice guy. Really enjoy his deck building, especially. So got a lot of fun stuff going on with him over the course of time here, and he's playing Eric's No Idea, which is a little bit more of a standard build here. So let me see if I can't just adjust the Champions League banner, move it on over here for people. Kind of stream this and make the boxes a little bit bigger. I'll flip that logo around if we need to. Alrighty here. So Invasion's always got some funky stuff going on. You know how the battleship here is something that typically is a liability here. I would think I'd be shaking my boots a little bit for the blockade flagship here, given that Eric can pull just about any ship here at the end of the day. Usually in the arsenals, the Tantive 4, which got a little bit stronger with the most recent set. Only if Realtor Ops got a little bit of a bonus boost to uh, its activation with a second icon, but it also makes Tantive a lot stronger, making that system a battleground if you could park it there. So, at any rate, Tantive is a ship that we'd expect to have, but now that, of course, that he's flipped to his 7 side, that Naboo is a battleground as normal, and he doesn't even need the Tantive to deploy down there. Let's see what he's got to kind of reinforce that battleship here. He's got Silunch, And the old adultery define, I always like him. He's the original guy. If you worry about the taking the hand, cancel, and redraw, you blame this guy here. He's the first of them. My good buddy Dan says he's on for streaming here. You know him in the general PC channel here. There's a second game going on. I think there's the Champions League. I think should have finished up yesterday, but there's a couple straggler games here going on. So I've also posted the link for Dan's channel if you want to even multi-box here. So actually, let me see if I can give you the multi-Twitch too. Oh, I'm sorry. It says I got that wrong there. So Dan says he's not covering, but there's another game going on. So I'll try to see if I can't get you guys swapping back and forth a little bit. The other one is jayjaydee, who I like to think is my arch nemesis. I think I've never beaten, I've never lost to him by like less than 20. You know, I'll be flipping back between covers a little bit here if I can with that game. So their game, if I just pull that up on the screen here, Chris Wirfs, Dark Side, known CCT player. I love my CCT players only because I play CCT a lot. And they get no idea, which seems to. I don't know if you guys always see this, but I feel like sometimes one game goes up with a certain objective, and then it seems to have a lot of people being like, "Oh, I kind of want to play that too." You know, so I'm not sure if that's what's going on here, but another no idea deck um, with that right there. So CCT versus No Idea is the other one. I'll kind of be chatting about that going forward. That might even be the more interesting game to kind of watch. But I'm being a homer here. I'm giving Eric Hunter some love from the Kashyyyk region. For some reason, I avoided him in most of my league games. I don't think I played him at all. I got to play Justin Desai. Of course, I lost a ton to him. Mike Pistone, who runs the league, really nice guy. He was able to kind of set everything up. I played him a bunch. A lot of good guys up there, and Eric Hunter won a lot of the games, and that's why he got the call to represent the Kashyyyk League with that bid here. Let me take a look here at the other one here. So Chris Wirfs, Jared Konsker. Um, Certainly the more interesting game as far as things are concerned here. Maybe if I get a lot of people knocking the door down, I'll switch full time. But just to keep you updated on that one, Chris Wirfs +6 with 61. So probably less so worried about the differential there, but more just a game that he needs to win. Obviously, all these guys have won leagues and so forth here, so lots of good stuff going on and lots of skill level going on with every one of these players here. But again, yes, the other game that we'll be hopefully bouncing around to a little bit has got a little bit more implications. But we'll see what's going on here. Eric Hunter kind of does. Kind of almost looks like it's a little bit of a he's expecting David to kind of set up around Naboo here, and he's going to say, we'll see if my damage can outdamage you. He's got the beach down already, which is an interesting one. So I would think that people are going to kind of pick and choose their battles a little bit here, and we'll see how David Center reacts here. So yeah, we've got Menace Fades coming out as well, so that reduces the drain by 1 here. So he's pushing through total of 3 damage on the dark side. You got a drain for this drain +1 for the beach. If you haven't seen it for a while, there's a lot of no idea decks that either hold off playing on this or don't play it forever until it's advantageous for them. But that's a drain of 2, drain of 1, and then they got a Stardust Ping as well. So all things equal here, I would think that David's going to try to push some of the play over here on Scarif. We'll see. I would think the 2 things that would probably happen in this game here would be Lightside is probably looking to try to kick off the blockade flagship, and Dark Side is trying to potentially attack the beach here. It really doesn't make a ton of sense here to um, go down to this battleground, which does give a drain +1. This is a card that hopefully will get an updated image soon. I feel like some of the Coruscant cards and feed cards have images that need some clarity updates there. But yeah, you're only going to get a drain of 1 here, so it's nothing super over there. So I would think that again, dark side's going to look to attack the beach. Light side's going to kind of try to take out the system and see what's going on from there. We'll see if I can dual screen for you here. Let's see if this will work for us. So that's not what I want. I'm sorry. I'm going to try to get a dual screen here and see how it goes. All right. I probably don't have like the coolest. Darn it, sorry. I probably don't have the coolest computer for all this stuff. But I'm going to try to dual screen it here and see how this works for a little bit of time. Try to get just as much coverage as you can here. If that looks awful, Dan, then let me know, all right? So you got on the right side, David and Eric. And on the left side here, we've got Chris Wirfs and jayjaydee, Jared Konsker here. I'll try to expand things as we kind of go up. Everybody's kind of just playing, kind of starting out here and setting up on. So nothing particular going on either game that's super interesting just yet. So as you noticed, if you were really observant here through my talking, David Center did not. David Center did not have You'll Be Dead on table initially. Started with the blaster effect to give him +2 for his blasters. So it's a great find that he's able to get the You'll Be Dead in there. I'm sure that Eric Hunter will have a We're Doomed combo, maybe 2 in there, depending on exactly what he wants to play, to kind of help him shut that off a little bit. But that's one way that David Center can kind of boost up the damage rates if he can utilize that little piece to push some additional damage through. So I think these are actually almost the last couple games here. It looks like Dan actually has to play Jared Konsker a little bit later today. So it looks like jayjaydee was a tough schedule. But these are pretty important games, all things considered. In fact, if Chris Wirfs loses this game, I think that Jared Konsker has some inside position in order to potentially win the league because he would be the only one with upcoming games left. If Chris wins, I don't think Jared is necessarily out of it, but then he would need to ratchet back a ton of plus minus differential on that particular game. So let me see here if I've got. I need to edit the title here. Champions League stream 2022. You see, I had Paul Myers on there. I think that was my last, might have been one of my last streams actually that I was doing there. So there we go. SWCCG Champions League screens. I hope you guys are, happy with how things have been turning up here, and I hope everybody's excited for the. Hope everybody's excited for the holidays upcoming here. So nothing too much happening in another game. I think everybody's just trying to set things up, and we'll kind of navigate to the action as battles kind of occur. Both players are kind of just CCT always takes some time to set up here. You know, they seem like they have. It's funny. CCT is a deck where you can find everything, but sometimes you have just games where you find nothing. You know, it's like they have potentially a really nasty space combo, but sometimes you activate things when you really need to attack, and it's just not your activation, um, and all that sort of stuff. So we'll see what all how it all occurs. One thing that's kind of nice, you'll see both people have both no idea players have the Saw Gerrera combo here. You know. At the beach, and he's always important because you've got uh, he's always important because a lot of players love playing the force drain modifiers and stuff. The image of the Dark Lord and so forth, and he kind of just completely prevents that. So you can see for him here, putting him up, it reduces force drains here, which is awesome. So that typically puts the beach at a drain of 2, which is super helpful for no idea here. Is kind of like a site that they can kind of stack, and with Saw and Stardust kind of deal 3 damage just by holding that site there, which is really nice, you know? And again, with their ability to pull starships and so forth, um, they typically don't have any problems satisfying battle orders. Just that beach is so awesome. Like you get all the bonuses too there. You get the spies, combat vehicles, scouts are each power +1 there. You know, so and you throw down like an Endor commando team, and it's like kind of impossible to like take that site a lot of times or even deal with it. So um, we'll see how it works out. So yes, everything rests on Dan's shoulders as per usual here, which is kind of fun. Is what he's saying here. He's got like I said, if Jared wins here, then yes, how things match up in that particular pod will deal with whether Dan Tartaglione can steal some games versus JJD and so forth. You see with JJD there, is kind of what I was talking about. I'm not sure exactly what Eric Hunter's got, but he stacked 2 Were Doom combos on his sand effect there. So, like I said, as one of the things that probably David Center is going to do to win his game, he's going to try to get as much You'll Be Dead damage in. I think that's what's going to kind of get him over the edge if he's going to win that game versus Eric. But we'll see how many Were Doom combos are in um, are in Eric's deck. Of course, Wirfs has You'll Be Dead on table too, which is kind of nice. So yes, if he battles, he'll have an answer for that, but it's only dealing 1 damage, so not as damaging as right now. David Center is looking at like dealing 3 damage with You'll Be Dead. So there's the Eric Hunter's going to want to do something to mitigate that. So welcome everybody. I hope everybody's having a nice time ramping up their holidays. A couple things, just reminders for people as they go through the Christmas week. First off, Batmouse's GIMP PC signups. Forum links are right here that I just posted. We're going to have like, I think 70 people already signed up. It's going to be like the only match play of 2023 that's going on. So don't hesitate to join in. It's free. It's competitive Star Wars CCG. It's great, and you'll get some prize support just for playing around, which is kind of fun. And then another thing that's coming up, upcoming, we've got the San Diego Open in January. So let's see. Our first link is GIMP PC signups. That's all. Again, the all online match play tournament. Second link is the San Diego Open. So that'll be late January. I think that's January 20 to 22. That'll be the first major of 2023, and the first time we were down in Southern California um, for slinging Star Wars CCG cards in a big event in quite some time here. So again, that'll be fun for people to take a look at. Sign up for those. And if you're watching for whatever reason in the Eurozone, they do have the Raltier Regional in Bochum, Germany. So that's for February 2023. I'll post this as well. Third link. Uh, I think I got that right. And here's the third link. The race for Bochum, Germany. That's February or so. So no matter where you are in the world, I think we've got some fun things for you. Some good tournaments in 2023 for you to kind of sign up with. So feel free to take a look at the links there in the Twitch chat and sign up for things you can make. So I seem to have picked some fairly uninteractive games right now. I think it's just been a drain race on the right-hand side. On the left-hand side, we do look like we have some action there. I got the Champions League logo and kind of like a wacky spot. Let me put over these non-battlegrounds and move it later. But we're looking at Ellison Hinthra with Ponda Bava. And like that's it for now. Somebody's going to come. Who do I got on the tandem here? I think we got Ray, Torin Farr, Theron Net, Commander Melshi. So not a lot of power showing and such. I mean, it's like 10 for 5 cards, so that's not a lot here. But like, burning through that forfeit is like really tough, But satisfies battle order, battle plan, which is great for Chris Wirfs here. And then, assuming that he can have a decent space presence up here and continue to attack in, that gives him some source of retrieval with scum and villainy there on an ongoing basis. So we'll see what continues to come from here. Stinger, I always like Stinger. I know there's some people that think that it's not a good card in this deck here. Not a good card in this deck because I don't know, like you can drop Guri on another ship and almost do the exact same thing. Especially with the Golden Run Shield, you only save a couple force. But I think it's kind of nasty. It adds a Battle Destiny when Guri's on there, and it gets Guri down for cheap, and she's often just so important in space. So we'll see what else pops down. Still a couple more force to play with Chris Wirfs. On the right-hand side, you might have seen a Sabotage there for one of the blasters to help out with the You'll Be Dead pings. That's really good. It's a nice way for Eric Hunter to kind of get the blasters off the table. It's always a pain when you kind of like battle in to blasters and they can just forfeit it back. It's kind of really hard to get them off the table unless you do something like that, like Sabotage. All right, so we're going to see some action on the left-hand side. Everybody wants to see the battles, right? Everybody's here for battling and all that sort of stuff. So Slave 1 came down. I think Wolf and Prince Zizor. I think it's Shizor, actually. Kendall will come in and tell me if I'm wrong, Kendall is really good at all this SWCCG canon and so forth, So I think we're in line to see our first battle here. I think we're looking at 14 power and 2 destiny to 10 and 1. A couple things to note. The fact that Ray and Torn Far are kind of stacked there, that makes Battle Destiny +2 on that side there. So that's something that's important to note there. It's interesting. JG committed a lot of cards to the table. He's got currently 8 in lost pile. Wirfs has like nothing basically at this point. He's losing his first cards and so forth. So, it looks like Wirfs has a sizable lead here, but with all these cards here, it's going to be hard to kind of whittle JJD down and so forth. Let's see. There's a Drain of 2 at the audience chamber showing currently. Now with Menace Fates being turned off and there's no way to get it back on, given that they won't be able to control a system. Um, that hopefully makes that Drain 2 more appealing, and then you'll be dead damage, still getting 3 through return. So that plus some retrieval in space here, especially if he's got more backup in space, could be interesting. And on our right hand side, Eric Hunter moved over this pesky Rogue One. It's currently got Wedge Antilles, Red Squadron Leader, and Lieutenant Blount, so that actually will be able to cancel the Destiny draw for Eric Hunter on the right hand side here. I think he is going with the route to try to kick David Center off in space, and typically for invasion, it's a little tough to keep that blockade flagship on the table here. So we'll see if he's able to do so. So one of the worrisome things about No Idea is that they're just able to get their ships and so forth, and it's just like you can download Honshu and Falcon from reserve deck if you're not if you're on your zero side, which is kind of interesting. Well, I think you used to. Let me double check. I thought maybe I'd done something to that recently. Yeah, I'm sorry. You can still get a bunch of cool ships. Rogue One and the Corvette. You can no longer even get the Bright Hope and so forth, but still a good package there. And there's still ways you can get the Honshu and the Falcon with, say, like Where's Han and that sort of stuff to still get a pretty good space package pretty quick. So, some action looking on the right-hand side as well. Right now, Eric Hunter has this guy, Beaumont Kin, and Jin Erso, and LOMHawkeye David Center is kind of coming down with a couple battle droids. The Rune Hako from Coruscant, who I always think is kind of cool. You can retrieve force with him and like predict a number, and if you get the number right, then your opponent is your opponent's destiny is reduced to 0, which is kind of cool. So we might see some action here as they attack into that space there. He's coming down with a bunch of blaster rifles now. Not uncommon here that they are going to drop in like 8 blaster rifles into that deck. So we'll see how it all works out. And looks like David Center got some retrieval in with Rune Hako there. I don't think Eric Hunter has his stuff out, but oh, that's a sneaky card. He doesn't get played a lot. He's the Cal Adler. Alder is the Greedo equivalent on the on the light side here. So he's with Insurrection. He's 1/6. Deploy 1, forfeit 6. He deploys. Or actually, he deploys for 2 force, but I think it's -1 if there was a rebel leader there. But anyway, yeah. So this will make it so that David Center can't actually fire his weapon because he kind of cleaned out his force pile here. So still getting a formidable 2 Destiny there, and so we'll see what all pops up here. That's actually a Destiny you can cancel and redraw with Adultery Dauphine. On the left-hand side, one of my favorite cards, Dengar and Punishing 1. I love that card so much. Cancels immunity and adds the battle destiny. So this becomes you can get a pretty sneaky and awesome package with CCT. I mean, like, yeah, he's got 5 ships there, which is like probably more than most people expect. I think people are like, oh, CCT only plays 3, but you can play like the Mess and Martinet and obviously the Zuckuss and Mist Hunter and all that sort of stuff to make a pretty nasty combo in there. So let's see. That looks like it's something that he's going to battle into. So you got a 10 for Battle Destiny versus a 1 for Battle Destiny. That's still only a couple guys, I think. Yes. I think it's Jin and Cal Adler. Alder. I can't pronounce his name. That guy's going to be our token for the stream here. Cal Alder V. Because he's cool. Not people don't play him that much. So if you know a little bit about the sticker book tokens, you can do that to submit a sticker book token. And let me get you that info on the sticker book token. So pretty good battle on the right hand side. Cleared a couple guys, but without some weapons that are able to be fired, no idea can just forfeit for a ton of forfeit, and things are pretty good. I think I don't know what's going to happen on the right hand side. It looks to me like David Center has a little bit of an upper hand, but we'll see. Visor Vision, what did you name for Seal Off the Bridge? So that's pretty good. Eric Hunter did 2 seal off the damage for seal off the bridge, which is kind of nice. Got rid of a battle droid blaster rifle, which is cool along the way. So let's see here. We've got. I owe you guys the sticker book token thing. Let's give me 1 second for that. Here's all the information on that. So if you're interested for sticker books and sending in tokens and getting that sort of stuff, check that link out, and you'll be able to get everything you need to know about it. All right, so I've had 1 battle so far in my stream, and just people positioning around things. So one thing to note: Jin had her cover broken last time, so I don't like these cover breaking during the move phase stuff. It's like still makes spies very valuable because then they can just move away later or something like that. I would like to see things getting. I think they were getting in the right direction with the free ride combo that just kind of like roasts them. Immediately immune to sense, and immune to switch off. So that sort of stuff, I think I really enjoy. It's like a nice bullet that's like makes people think to about undercover spies and deploying them. So anyway, so we'll see how it works out. She's still very vulnerable um, at the prison there to a counterattack. I think Wirfs is kind of like looking to get himself in a position where he can start attacking and retrieving a lot. So I always like that anything good when people peek at your piles and so forth. Asking if anything's good in the particular pile there too, so that you can try and get some information too on it. Obviously a joking thing. You're not going to tell your opponent what they've got in their deck. So we'll see what occurs. I think we're out to the point here where people don't quite have spaces to run. So I think we should start seeing some battles in each spot. JJD is going wide here with his chariot down to the carbonite chamber. Wouldn't be surprised if we see another spy kind of go down to the security tower too. Depends on what he has. I mean, like I remember some of these decks were playing like 2 rebel barriers, 2 it's a trap. Back in the day. Um, something like Prince Caesar coming down. Although I think he's up in space now. But he would be somebody that would be really worrisome. You get like a Oron Blaster with some sort of um, Oron Blaster with some sort of uh, you know uh, interrupt to kind of remove characters or something like that can make things a little bit ugly. But still, it's like pretty safe. It's like you need a couple weapons to kind of take down both of your guys. Otherwise, it's like even if you're not drawing Destiny stuff, a 4'6", 4'7" character, that's like kind of hard to get overflow on. Also helps when you've got on the left hand side here, you've got 2 escape pod or doom combos on your sand effect. So that kind of allows you to get your Gik combo or Gik if you need it. Thanks, Taco. Yeah, I guess I have made it. Taco. Taco. Speaking of people that made it, Taco I think was also in the got one of the Advocate Awards most recently. So thanks again for your help and everybody's help in making this community kind of what it is. So hopefully you're enjoying some lazy two boxing here for Champions League streams here, especially if you like no idea. So things are starting to bubble a little bit in each of these games. Huh. Eric Hunter has a couple visored visions running around, which is kind of neat. He's got some interesting card choices. I think he played some sort of Tatooine CPV or CRV, I guess I would say on Dark Side. So he hasn't been playing the most in meta decks here, which is kind of fun. And then yeah, the Visor Vision is usually it's a good card, but I think there's a lot of people who don't like playing with it. I think it's Jared Napolitano kind of favorite. So we'll see where both players decide to push play. Wirfs probably has a pretty big turn coming up here, depending on what he wants to do. I would think that it's time for him to kind of start finding a way to battle to retrieve force with that projection of a Skywalker down. He's only doing 2 damage, and his opponent is spread to do. He's staring down a lot here. Eric Hunter just played We're Doom combo. So that saves him from 3 or 2 force actually here from You'll Be Dead. David Center's only got 11 in life force left. Um, so I think with that, just the totals the way they are, I think that officially puts Eric Hunter, if he wasn't already officially in the, unless David Center has some wacky scum and villainy that he can get retrieve a lot of stuff from. But I think that officially puts Eric Hunter in the win for his group. So I think he's going to pass on to the second round here. Move on. I don't think pass on is necessarily a good thing to say. But still, it's some fun Star Wars CCG playing here. So hope you're enjoying it, even if that's something that's the Champions League on that side of the equation is seems to be set. Of course, with Wirfs and jayjaydee, that game is a little more consequential here. If jayjaydee can beat Wirfs, then he has a chance, depending on how he continues to play, in order to advance out of that group. So just getting back to that area, if I can back up. Posted too many leaks for you guys. It's too nice of me. So let's see if I can head over to that Champions League results tab. So again, just talking about that, if I can just move it over for 1 second, as David Center gets into another battle here. So we got a couple battles going on. So David Center is attacking the Data Vault. He gets his 2 Destiny, which is kind of nice here. Got his little retrieval from Rune Hako, which is kind of nice. Eric Hunter draws kind of a small Destiny, but it's not too bad since he's able to retrieve with it. And then, as I mentioned, Wirfs is kind of getting into a spot where he's got to kind of attack and retrieve here. So he attacked with Hondo Naka into Chirrut and Lieutenant Blount. Not sure what he is hoping for. Oh, self-destruct mechanism. That's an awesome card. if Cal Adler wasn't already my token, I would think about making this one my token. It says lose a droid to cancel all attrition against you. That's important to win a battle with that card because you don't actually forfeit the droid. You got to sacrifice him. So you sacrifice him, and then if you have battle damage, like your that forfeit didn't kind of take hold there. So second battle here, probably just attacking, seeing what's going on in each of these instances here. Ray and Solo seems like a tough group to kind of attack into, but I think David's running out of options here. And on the left-hand side, we've got battle with Hondo and Naka. Drew a 5. That'll be Lieutenant Blount that goes. And then I'm not sure if he was hoping to have Onaka kind of stick around. He had a decent chance. There's some low destinies in the uh, repertoire for no idea here. So I'm not sure if you'd like to stick around. Sometimes you get some beatdown possibilities that kind of come into play if he still had Hondo on table. But I think he probably would have liked to keep him on table, all things considered, and take his chances as opposed to getting a Drain of 2 through. But anyway, big space battles, one of the things that will be interesting here. There's lots going on. 3 Destiny for the dark side, and a Destiny to attrition. 1 Destiny to power and 1 Destiny to battle Destiny on the light side. I think both totals are +2, and this will get jayjaydee to start pulling stuff off sand. So yes, those 3 battle Destinies look pretty formidable. It's only down to 1 now. So I think David Center was kind of just trying what he could to see what he could do against Eric Hunter. I'm not sure that battling in the Ray and Solo was like a super great idea, given the fact that he didn't have many support cards in his hand, but kind of running out of a lot of options here. Another Visor Vision. Well, I'm not sure how many he's running, but I feel like that's at least 2. He might have been tracking them around, and I've been trying to. David can't win by 31. I'm sorry, Jared. Not at this point. So, but yeah, I think the multiple visor visions and such is kind of a fun little twist on that. So, kind of it's awful when you draw low battle destiny sometimes with your aliens decks, but that's kind of what's happening here. So it looks like 6 attrition on each side. A higher draw would have been fun, but so yeah, six attrition on each side, 9 battle damage for jayjaydee. So that's a character and a couple cards, probably 2 characters, I would think. jayjaydee's only got 12 down. Not sure how easy it is for you guys to see those numbers there. I got a nice big screen on my end, but 12 down. And Chris Wirfs has much more, 26 down. But now jayjaydee's getting to the point where like he's going to be doing more damage here, and it's going to be a little while before it's going to be at least another battle before Wirfs can kind of rip off 3 battle destinies because he's got to peel through another sand card here. Yeah, don't worry, Jared. I told people that's one of your cards, Visor Vision, and um, I'm blanking on the dark side card that you like playing in your AOBS deck, um, Voyeur. But yeah, those are fan favorites. Really nice, It's one way to kind of deal with like interrupts that are like really annoying versus your deck. So it's certainly it's almost like a grabber in that regard that you can kind of start whittling away some of those um, interrupts that you don't want to see. What's kind of nice is like you can use it for like damage over the course of the game, so that like you can kind of keep getting some additional small pings in over the course of time. So while I have a captive audience, don't forget you can also donate to the Star Wars CCG PC. Um, we've got a lot of cool stuff going on with them. Check out the donations program. If I get back to the Twitch stream here, bam, there's the donations link. A lot of cool stuff. New set of deck boxes for 2023. Check it out, and that program runs through March 2023. A lot of cool rewards. Jared, our marketing advocate, who's posting here, uh, is been great at coming up with a lot of good ideas and running it and shipping it to everybody. So big thanks for all of his work there. Take a look at it. A lot of cool stuff there for anybody to take a look at. So optics are Jared here. That's Eric Hunter from the Kashyyyk region. So that's New England. Up in the Northeast. Will be getting a place in the next round there for the Champions League. This is the last game of that round here. David Center kind of had a really outside chance to advance, but it looks like he at least at this point won't have enough to ratchet back the differential he needs in order to move on. So, but again, the worst JJD game is very consequential here. If JJD can win this game, then he's got some games with Dan Tartaglione later to kind of see if he can move on to the next round. So one thing to note here, you'll see that right now Chris Wirfs is leading with 6 points, but if Jared wins, he'll get to 6, and then he's got games in hand. So one additional win against Dan Tartaglione then would get him into the next round. If Wirfs wins, then if Jared Konsker could potentially put like epic beatdowns on Dan in order to advance on to the next round. But I think this game is probably the very consequential one in terms of win-loss in deciding that the fate of that pod there. So we'll see with the updates to No Idea there. You can only get Corvettes now and Rogue One. So you can't quite get Bright Hope. You can see Eric Hunter still playing the Bright Hope, still worth playing it. Hanchu and the Falcons, still worth playing that. But here's a card you'll probably see a little bit more of, the Masanya. Helps out with Weapon Destinies there. I wonder if you'll see a little bit of Bale in the deck. He probably is like a 65th card or something like that. But if you're all Corvettes and stuff like that, it certainly helps against like any sort of laser cannon battery shenanigans, and he'll get you an extra destiny on your Corvettes. So it'd be interesting to see if he kind of slides into these decks here. But that's one of the cards that did kind of come in to replace some of the like raised transport and maybe some of the other rebel ships like Wedge and ship is something that you won't see anymore. Most likely in No Idea. Used to be you can play like Wedge and ship or like Quarren and ship, and like run a X-wing laser cannon, but the way that objective is written now that you can't get these other rebel starships, then you probably won't see it as much. And on the right hand side, Eric's looks like he's looping a couple cards here, maybe with Commander Willard. I don't think Willard's down for JJD anywhere. But Commander Willard's pretty awesome, being able to kind of do the 3PO drop draw, so he can keep continually tracking that we're doomed, especially with Rebel Barrier grabbed up here, tracking we're doomed in order to kind of cancel You'll Be Dead. Probably the thought was when David Center was attacking here that like grabbing Rebel Barrier and going for a beatdown is like his chance of like having a big differential play. So like maybe if it was the case where all he needed to do was win the game, um, he would probably save that grabber for the for something else. But my guess here is that he, knowing that he had to win the game by a lot, um, you know, taking those risks and grabbing barrier, even though you know there might be something better coming down the pike to win the game. Like probably grabbing barrier is the better play in order to try to get some game-ending damage through. So David Center's down to 8. Down, 1 in hand. Now 0 in hand. So, and then he's even got the Antilles maneuver, does Eric Hunter, which is kind of nasty against these sort of weapons decks. Very good card. I think it's, you know, almost an auto include in no idea here. But it's just good, you know? It's also helpful to deploy pilots on starships and so forth. You got a battle over there. He's going to get 9 attrition there with the total battle destiny of 8, plus 1 from the B2 droid. It's pretty nasty. You can get that so quick. Nick Eric's fine as long as he like kind of draws a spy to retrieve it. You know, it's like, well, doesn't care whether it's like, you know, he draws. Obviously, if he draws like a total balance and you have like 12, that's great. You know, but no idea usually isn't that high, so it's almost better for these battles here sometimes to draw those low characters so that you can get the retrieval in. Although here, you know, it would have been better, I guess, with all of what he's doing. They did take some battle damage there. Now, that game should be moving towards its completion, so we should be able to get full screened um, Chris and jayjaydee shortly. And thanks for joining us. Hope everybody's having a happy holiday season. Merry Christmas coming up if you guys are watching this a little bit later. And there we go. I think that's the 4th or 5th time Visored Vision's been played by Eric, which is kind of fun. So certainly getting this game close to a completion here. I think they're 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 damage. And David Center says, I never thought I'd get slapped around by Visored Vision. So yeah, I don't think a lot of players think that that's going to happen to them. It's always fun when you're playing this game and it's just they've got, you know, people are able to take advantage of cards and so forth that you know people don't you know don't often see, or you know, you're able to kind of put together a deck and plan and kind of feature some of those cards and just do a number of things. In fact, I wonder if Eric's got a way where he can like. No, I think he's got a. I was wondering if he got a way where he could visor vision for the win if he attacks into the blockade ship, which he'll probably do anyways because I think Wedge is able to cancel the destiny here. So he's got Wedge, Lieutenant Blount, Torn Far. That's a pretty good group. He might even clear the blockade flagship at the end of the day, and that'll be that. So on the left-hand side, we got this nasty Zam Wessel lady. attacking into the Cloud City Carbonite Chamber, just like the movies, attacking Ezra and Chirrut. Well, neither of which are a leader, because she's helpful when she can do pings for the leaders there. Again, I wonder if probably right now it's better for Wirfs if he can find a way to keep Zam to stick around. I think he's hoping for a low draw from jayjaydee. A dark time for the rebellion. And David Tenner's down to 1 on the right-hand side as that battle goes. And there's the 3 that I was talking about. So I think unless something wacky's going on, that she's immune to that. Eric Hunter draws a 6 for Battle Destiny, total of 8. That should clear the blockade flagship, even though Follow the Legend goes out of play. And this Battle Destiny gets canceled. And if Eric Hunter has another Visored Vision, he'll be able to win by naming Cold Feet. So we'll see if he does that. That game should end shortly, and then I'll full screen so you can see the Wirfs jayjaydee game. David Center flips back. Eric Hunter gets a Lieutenant Blant retrieval. I think the only thing that's happening here is that David Center's doing 2 you'll be dead damage, and that's that. And then again, we'll go full screen on the Wirfs jayjaydee game, which has a good amount of players on them right now. Always good when you can track your destinies and draw 6, right? That really helps with the total power here. See, Darkside gets a 3 for Battle Destiny. I'm sure Wirfs is going to get to the spot where he can start tracking things a little bit better. Punishing 1's really helping out by adding 3. There's a 4 for jayjaydee, and I think he's got Ray and Torn Far here, so that's a +2, and that becomes a 6. And a 4 to attrition here. So basically 10 attrition to 6 attrition. 3 battle damage is going to become inconsequential given that they've drawn such a high destiny. Let's see, Lady Proxima. It's 1 less battle destiny. Sand's busted, so this now starts to become a really nasty group here in space that can draw multiple battle destinies. So if they can't answer that, the capital ships especially have nowhere to go. So that's probably going to be your path to victory for Chris Wirfs. Being able to battle into here, make him forfeit a ton, draw tons of battle destiny, retrieve with scum, kind of becomes the path to victory there. And then there's no way that jayjaydee is going to be able to pay for all of his stuff here. And David Center is, I think, done with his Champions League play here. He's done really well, but I think he took 2nd place in that group, but he just conceded. So again, just updating for Pod B there. Eric Hunter takes the victory over David Center. He'll move to 10 points essentially. David Center will stay at 6, so he'll stay 2nd place. So really nice play by both of them, and Eric Hunter will advance out of that pod there. So let's close it out of that and then go full screen here to these lovely fellows, Chris Wirfs and jayjaydee. And let me move this Champions League stream over here. There we go. Let me make it bigger for you guys so you can see it's Champions League. There you go. So again, this one's important. Essentially, if Wirfs wins this, it's going to be really tough for JJD to come back, win 2 games with enough differential to overtake him. If Jared wins this, then he's going to be equal points with Chris Wirfs, but Jared has games in hand with Dan Tartaglione. So as long as he can win one of those games versus Dan Tartaglione, then Jared would then advance. Dan's only won 1 game so far in 4, so he's won 3 so far. So if you're thinking about maybe Dan can pull off 2 upsets or something like that if Chris Wirfs wins, then um, or if Jerry Konsker wins, and Dan can pull off two victories to kind of keep things where they are. That'll be another path to victory for Chris Wirfs, but we'll see. This Master Luke guy is nasty. I always think that Jared Napolitano was the guy that invented this dude. I'm not sure if that's actually the case, but he did. He was one of the most vocal people that were certainly excited about that fellow when he came out. He's going to make things miserable for Zam. She doesn't have enough ability to get around his text here, so this battle destiny is going to be 0 for Sam Wetzel here. So jayjaydee played Ant-Man to put a 5 on top of his deck, and then once per game recycled with Chariot. There's not a lot of things that allow you to recycle prior to the end of your turn. That's one of them. And so there's the 5 that he put on top and then recycled. And so look, a close call from Wirfs. Everybody's favorite card, right? Close call. So that close call will save him from peeling cards otherwise, I think, because that will make it a total battle destiny of 2. And Zam with a forfeit of 4 will cover everything here. I would think Chris would probably want to draw Destiny just to see what it is and see if you can track it around or something along those lines. 3, I'm not sure that's something that he wants to cares to track around and that sort of stuff. Good to know where your cards are as opposed to not know where your cards are. So in this Championship League game, we're looking at a lot of damage currently showing for JJD. So even though JJD was, seemingly down to like 17 cards in Life Force quickly, he's gotten to the point where Chris Wirfs is really only doing 2 damage a turn. And right now, excuse me, right now, JJD is showing 6 at this point. And I think Luke Skywalker's up there, right? Is he? No, he's not up there yet. Oh, he's not up there. He's right down here. So I guess that's actually a fairly interesting call now I think about it. Luke Skywalker in this deck. And most people like playing the pilot that they like to stash in the space to retrieve a card here. No Idea does have a lot of avenues for retrieval with 10 men. Usually Luke Skywalker piloting, ping retrieve with Walkling, maybe something else in the deck. Obviously, they've got the Jedi Lev, which I forgot even got an update here. You choose to either cancel and redraw or take the character in the hand, and then once per game, it's not retrieve anymore. It's take the character in the hand. So that's not gets around your code clearance shields for Dark Side, I believe, because they use the verbiage take instead of retrieve. So Wirfs is giving a reshuffle here. Sounds like he hasn't really found some good destinies in his deck. He's only activating 11 here, which is kind of tough. Looks like he never quite got at his passenger deck if he's even playing it. Um, you might be happy with 11. Usually you'd like a couple more just for all the retrieval that CCT does, you know? Court usually can battle for free, which is kind of nice and saves them a lot of stuff there. Um, so that's all cool stuff. But and then you're also pulling a card with IG88, so usually like a couple more activation with CCT vis-a-vis even say court there, you know. So 11's pretty low, but he's making it work, you know. So you have to retrieval here, and then you have to pay 3 to initiate and retrieve 2, which you shouldn't be complaining about. It's a great thing to do, but then it gives you a lot less force to work with. Almost prioritize having some sort of nasty interrupt in there, like close call, for example. Jabba's Haven, always a good card. I'm not sure if he's lost his activation stuff. He would not want to play Malhutta in this game because he wants to force action here to keep Menace Fades from turning on. How screwed is Wirfs? I don't think he's too bad. There's no more cards on sand right now, so I actually kind of like his chances right now. I think he's gotta. I think he has to get a couple good destinies and or plug some holes on the ground. But I don't think he's in that bad of a position. One thing that's also nasty is JJD can move his guys over there. So yeah, um, even though Wirfs has more down, uh, I kind of like what JJD's board position is right now. So it depends on what's in hand for Wirfs and what he can do. He hasn't picked a card that he's liked so just yet his uh, um, in his lost pile. So let's see what he's got. Maybe he doesn't like his options. Mara with lightsaber coming down to like the JCC or not the JCC, but the carbon chamber testing. Dan, don't you know how this works? Yes, life force does count for things. So, uh, couple things to note here. See with the differentials here. So yes, winning games is important. So Wirfs here, 6 points, so 3 wins. He's got a plus 61 here. So Jared Konsker, if Chris Wirfs loses, the only way Jared would be able to beat him is if he really beats Dan very bad. So in 2 games in a row. So I think here it's going to be this one in particular. I think is less important for differential, but as far as the overall tournament's concerned, yes, differential counts. So right now we've got Wirfs with 18 down, 4 in hand. JJD has 11 down, 2 in hand here. And again, oh, look at all that cool stuff. Everybody loves U3PO. So, what's going on with this now? Afra came down to um, the war room, which can be sometimes be a liability here, but that should hopefully increase the drain and worse damage. And then U3PO comes down to the carbon chamber to knock off that damage there. So this looks great for Wirfs. Especially if he can continue to um, make JJD forfeits a lot of stuff in space. Two cards in hand each right now, so if you weren't around earlier for when I was one of those two boxing the streams. The token for this stream is Cal Alder V. He's the Greedo equivalent on the the light side. Isn't as often used, but Eric Hunter was playing him and some other fun cards in his deck. So, and deployed him as a react to make David Center use one force, which he didn't have, to fire a weapon. So, worked to perfection on that side. So jayjaydee retrieved a card with 10 men because he drew Galen Erso. And Wirfs going to hope that he's got some decent destinies here. 4 is good for CCT. 2 is okay, but don't forget he's +3 with the punishing 1. Wirfs has both Ray and Torin Far, so that 4 goes up to a 6. Why is it a 4? There's Wolf around there somewhere. I think Wolf is on the Slave 1 here. And so we've got 12 attrition, 11 battle damage to 6 attrition on the light hand for the dark side here. Which I think would be the Space Cruiser, if that's my correct judgment. Sometimes you need the pilot slots, but with only 2 cards in hand, I think you pitch that. So the Masanya V is a good pitch because that makes Dengar a little less good. And I think after Commander Vander Willard might have to go here, although he's the guy that kind of drops and draws to pull stuff into hand for jayjaydee. But he's at a spot where he's got to forfeit stuff that he doesn't want to forfeit. Eric Hunter won the game versus David Center. David Center needed to win by I think 33 or something like that in order for him to advance. So when it got to the point where each had 15 in life force, it was pretty clear that Eric was going to advance. So Eric from that pool in the Kashyyyk region is moving on to the next round. I'll do a quick rundown of who's advanced at the end of the stream here to get people caught up. I don't know how Taco Bill's doing it, but he has he's kind of keeping track of all the games here. There's a lot that are being played, especially this weekend. I think there was something crazy like 30 games or something like that. I was catching up with my good man Dan Tartaglione's streams recently. I think I still got one that I got to watch, which is nice. But I'll lot of fun action here. I think it was supposed to end yesterday, but my guess here is that some people said, "Hey, if you give me an extra day, I'll get them played." So then Tartaglione, I think, might have some games later. He does have some games still left to go, so he might be one that shows up here. I hope you're enjoying some afternoon SWCCG here, Star Wars CCG. If you haven't, if you're just stumbling on the stream for whatever reason, not sure what's going on, check out the Star Wars CCG .org homepage. Lots of cool stuff, lots of good news. All the stuff with our donations program, V-slips, announcements. Rules of the game, the collecting encyclopedia is there, treasure trove of information, link to the forums, all this sort of stuff. Take a look at it. It's going to be the best thing you'll do. If you haven't visited in a while, it's going to be the best thing you do for Star Wars CCG. So you can take a look at that. And obviously, there's going to be a link to playing here in GIMP, which is kind of nice too. So GIMP is amazing. Play for free. Online. I can play against my brother if I wanted to do that, or if I'm so tired of playing his cheesy decks, I can play against other people, Like, how great is that? You can just play against other people because, you're tired of seeing your brother's cheesy decks over and over and over again, And he refuses to play other deck types. So, super, super nice. So, getting to the nitty gritty of this game here, the seven side of the No Idea, which is an awesome looking objective, and I hope I get a foil of it someday because it looks amazing. Allows you to, I should let you read that. Once per turn, place a rebel in lost pile to play and make a regular move to the rebel spy during your control phase, or cancel an attempt to target your non-undercover rebel spy with a weapon. So essentially, he was able to move Chariot over to the prison for an extra 2 damage here. So this U3PO is doing some awesome work for them right now, preventing this drain, but he was able to even bump his damage up still a little bit. So 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 damage here currently. And I think he's just going to try his best to put as many warm bodies in space as possible. I think it's getting down to the point where I think Wirfs has like one guy he doesn't care about whether he forfeits or not, which would be Cad Bane. And then jayjaydee has one guy, Theranet, I think doesn't care about him. But then any kind of battle or any kind of attrition beyond that becomes really annoying for each player. So there's Galen Erso, who's kind of cool. He can place a immune to alter effect in an opponent's use pile, which usually would be Scum and Villainy. But Scum and Villainy is immune to alter on the 7 side of my favorite declaration. So he's much stronger against Court than CCT, which is kind of cool. It's funny how the decks have like very similar character bases. It's just like, you know, 3 or 4 small differences like kind of do matter a ton as to how they play, you know? And obviously not being able to use like the IG with gun and the FET on crack is I think is how they used to say it. The maintenance FET really does kind of change a lot of dynamics. It's kind of annoying. You got like FET down here sometimes, and a lot of decks decide to play Slave One. I don't like playing Slave One my CCT builds, but a lot of people do. It's a smart play because you get the ship, but it's kind of frustrating that you can never pair them up. They do so much retrieval, I'm sure somebody has paired them up at some point in their life, but usually you see Boba Fett kind of just like hanging out in the audience chamber and he's doing nothing. He either gets beat down turn 2 or he just sticks around doing nothing all game. Alrighty, so Wirfs activates down to 2, which is really interesting to me. Almost makes me think that he is not attacking in space here because he would get a 3rd draw. You get 2 battle destiny and 1 to attrition. Which I think he's got. I don't know. Maybe he's worried that jayjaydee has got some destinies lined up that are amazing. I guess that was one of the big things about the Jabba space cruiser. Because right now you've got combined fleet action that's dealing a -8 total power to the system here because he doesn't have a capital ship. Still, I would think if Wirfs has good destiny draws, it still might be something you want to think about attacking into. Problem is you got a lot of guys with decent forfeit. Theranet is like a 6. Galen Erso, I think, he's only 4. Willard's a 6. Torn Far's a 5. But anyway, we'll see what Wirfs decides to do here. Hano Naka, he already died once, but he's back. And always good to kind of initiate battles as the scum player, to get your retrieval and kind of keep getting cards back in your deck here. I mean, at the end of the day here, JJD isn't, well, both players aren't necessarily playing somebody with a 60 card deck. With all the retrieval, you're talking about like trying to do, enough damage to beat somebody that's got like basically a 70 card deck with all the stuff that's coming back into their deck and so forth. So there's the scum retrieval, as I mentioned. So I wonder if Wirfs is actually going to attack both on. Nah, he doesn't have enough destinies here to do both there. It'd been nice if you could have gotten down to that Imperial Artillery there. Get the 7 back into the deck. It's one of the reasons he needs to leave too, because Chariot's allowed to kind of fiddle around with his destinies and activate the force and so forth. So he's got to save two cards there, or else Chariot could have activated a card to clear out one of the destiny draws there. Sam Wessel, not like too impressive, but gets the job done. And only a 2 for JJD, so he does get to retrieve one with it, which is nice. Um, but Hondo has the opportunity to stick around if he wanted to do that. Prob Probably makes sense to keep him around, I guess. I think you just keep him around in case U3PO gets his cover broken and you can move over. I mean, you're always a little bit worried about spies and stuff like that. But with the people at the Mass Society war room and stuff like that, with the people at the Mass Society war room, that might be a better, more important thing to deal with. JGD down to 8. Again, differential does matter as far as this is concerned, but this was one more a game where it matters who is the ultimate victor. I think at the end of the day here, it really there's enough differential between the two here that I think really the more important thing is who wins the game here as opposed to how much. Yeah, important to know that JGG is down 8 because it's just not getting to the end part of the game here. Looking at timers here, if that's something you're looking for, Wirfs is at 14 minutes 30 seconds. JJD is a little under 9. Um, but I think that this game will move to completion before um, timers end. Again, thanks everybody for watching. I'm glad I finally got some Champions League coverage going on here. Something I actually asked about a while ago, but I thought I'd be able to give a stream for everybody to take a look at. But unfortunately, things get busy, So glad I was able to do a couple games here, and one obviously of a lot of consequence here. Yeah, happy to help. I enjoy it. It's just I don't know. For some reason, my hours and when the time when the games were played just didn't kind of work out. So Two 3 p.m. double headers, huh? Probably not would be my guess. I would think not, but we'll if one of them is like a super quick game, but I probably will be off after this worst game is done for completion. Jared, we'll have this on the YouTube channel, obviously, as well. If you missed other Champions League action or you want to go back and relive any of our majors and stuff, it'll be on our SWCCG YouTube channel as well um, for your viewing pleasure. I'll give you a fun link for that one as well. Do, do, do. So our CCG YouTube channels right here in case you ever need linked it in the Twitch stream chat if you're ever interested in seeing all the sort of stuff that we wind up doing. Hall of Theater episodes go up there. My good buddy Dan Tartaglione, who's D-Tartag1, who's been in the chat here, uh, does a fun talk show now. It's at 9 p.m. Eastern on the PC's Twitch channel. It does that every week. So lots of great news and notes and so forth. He'll have a fun show again tomorrow as well at that same time. So all those Hall Theater episodes also get uploaded to YouTube as well. So here comes down Ray. I think a lot of both players are kind of in like trying to just block damage mode here. So might maybe we will have a game that goes to time here. So we'll see how it all works out. Wirfs has just like not been able to find a 5 for the life of him. I feel like it seems like if he was able to draw like a 5-4 in space, that would just kind of break the camel's back up there. Um, so we'll see. It's a lot of high forfeit guys, not a lot of weapons either for Wirfs, um, which might be useful for like this combo here for like Blount and Ray. Escape pod, we're doomed. Which I'm sure JJD will track and pick up again with Commander Vanden Willard. Unless he really loves the card in his hand, But Vanden Willard. Be able to kind of drop and draw and pick up that We're Doomed combo to save himself some You'll Be Dead damage, and then he'd only be staring down a ping of 1 from the Audience Chamber Force Drain, and that's it. So we'll see. Wirfs has 2 cards on hand. It's important. Gives some options. Obviously, he can get a third with IG-88. Also important. Actually, when I think about it, the We're Doomed combo is grabbed up here. So even if, so it wouldn't make sense probably to cycle that around for JJD. Wouldn't be able to play it, but given that card would be stacked, it'd almost be a waste of force. So Wirfs is still doing his 2 damage here. Makes, I guess, that a decent grab, given the fact that Vanden Willard can just keep recycling at this point in the game. A lot easier to track and recycle things when you're down to 7 cards. The greats can do it when it's like, 30 to 40 cards in the deck, I could do it when it's down to like 10 to 12, and not even that well when it's 10 to 12, but still. So Wirfs went to the tank. He's activating 10 here, which means that he doesn't want to battle at all. Or maybe he wants to battle with like a ton of power, but I don't know. That doesn't. That seems like a bad sign to me initially. JJD has a total of 8, so 7 down, 1 in hand. Wirfs has 10 down, 2 in hand. Wirfs is doing 2 damage right now. JJD is doing showing 4. He could potentially get a 5th with a move to the data vault with one of the spies there. So it took a while to figure out what he wanted to pull from his force pile with IG-88. Not sure if he really likes all of his options there, but we'll see. It doesn't look like he's battling here. I think like the dream would be you're able to battle into say like Ray or like battle into maybe this stack here with Jin Corporal Power or something like that. Oh, Corporal Power kind of is a beast there. So there we go. There's 2 for Wirfs. You know what? I have this Champions League banner over the audience chamber. Sorry about that, guys. Let me flip it somewhere else. How about down here in the corner? There we go. There's Aura that's coming down. Nice if he had the ability to kind of fire with her gun and draw. Battle Destiny there. Maybe he's just not happy with his draws or something like that. It sounds like he's going to move. What I guess would be he's going to move some characters over to the dungeon here. Stop another 1 force loss. Probably moving just like Jabba the Hutt and like maybe just Jabba the Hutt over, I guess. Maybe IG-88. How about that? It's important to remember that, like, yes, they can move the prize over to deliver. I guess that's the mithril now, but uh, uh, cool that they can do that, but they don't get the power bonus from Despair when they kind of unlink Scum and the mithril there. I mean, maybe JGD's got like a gig in hand, but like you would think that like might have been better if he had the. Well, I guess he wouldn't have had the cards to kind of like battle into Ray, I guess, and do the retrieve. One thing, if he is able to battle an array and like hit her, and draw battle destiny, that could be some overflow there because he would be getting the power +3 in battle there. So Accelerate and Zam Wesel go back into the deck. It's a good opportunity for him to shuffle around and get that Accelerate to kind of stick as far as a battle destiny or something like that. It looks like, yeah, he didn't play. He's got Accelerate instead of Twilight Advisor, so I would think he would have gotten the bridge somewhere, but clearly he didn't get it as far as activation is concerned. It would have been, I think it would have been helpful earlier if he got some additional activation out. Now Hutta didn't make its way out, but that was probably more a strategic decision to make sure that Menace Fades did not get turned on for this game. So JJD's got 6 cards left, but he's slowly getting. I guess both players are kind of slowly getting damage done here. Wirfs has almost double the time here, so um, could be that we're getting down to a timed win. Again, yeah, it won't be differential will not be large here, but the points from winning the game is going to be the one I think that both players are looking for the most. So 4 damage incoming here. Yeah, I guess one of the nice things is Chris Wirfs, I mean, he's taking 4 damage now, but like he can definitely battle into some spots in order to uh, extend his life force count. And I guess JJD could do a little bit of the same because of the 10 men objective, but or 10 men effect. But I think Wirfs right now, I think I like his position a little bit better here. Like your obvious battle is going to be Aura and Chelly against Ray. If he could somehow hit Ray, then like JJD's got to have a kick for that in order to. I mean, it's possible that he doesn't necessarily need a gig, but yes, it's more probable that he needs to have a gig for that one than not. I mean, even battling in like Jin and Corporal Pow isn't like a terrible idea just to get some force back. I'm not sure if like there's a card that like is like super needed with IG88 at this point. Important to note that he will get a drain of 1 at the prison with IG88. So Despair gives +1 wherever prizes. If you want to play those old decks where you just take IG88 over in Cloud City and start tunneling for cards, that's where you can do with that. So Luke moves over. I think Worse did not want to move U3PO over, which is interesting to me. Maybe it's inconsequential, but Worse is only doing 1 damage here, so yep. Yep, Hondo does nothing against Luke. That's why I think moving U3PO might have been a good idea, because you're going to want to. You could move Hondo out, you know? Right now, it's like you kind of need to keep Hondo where he is in order to prevent the drain. I think he could have probably just used some force to move his guys around as opposed to where he's at here. But because he had one force for at the end of his other turn there. I'm not sure if that messed up his tracking or what, but he would have. He did, I think, peak with IG-88, so he kind of knew what that card was. So if like it was a, God forbid, it's even like a sight or like now Hutter or something like that. It's like you wouldn't want that at the bottom here when he's looking to battle into somebody. Galen Erso moved Scum away because he doesn't have a frozen captive at the audience chamber anymore. So there we go. Galen Erso was able to do exactly what he wanted to do. So that is tough. But we'll see. Again, I think if Wirfs is able to battle Ray off, that makes things really that could make things pretty difficult for jayjaydee. One thing that's tough about CCT is like, yeah, it does give Wirfs a life force back, but one thing that's tough with CCT is like it just sometimes like doesn't do a ton of damage. So sometimes for just this sort of situation, I like putting in like a limited resources, to be honest, where it's just like getting the late game and it's crunch time and it's like no question that like just dealing 4 force of damage to your opponent, is just like really puts you over the edge. So and IG-88 can usually find it, for these sorts of situations where people are spread thin. You just need to find a way to do like an additional little bit of damage, and like sometimes what you can even do is like play it, retrieve it, and then like find a way to play it again, or make sure your opponent like draws cards when they don't really want to draw cards. Anyway, let's see what's going on. So, looking for Scum and Villainy, and it's not in his reserve deck. That is apparent that probably would have been the case here. And Wirfs has kind of used up his time advantage on jayjaydee now. So they're both sitting at like 3 minutes, 30 seconds. Yeah, both players are playing their butt off in this game, But that's this seems to be at least at this juncture in the pod the pivotal match here. So and so not too long ago I said that Wirfs had like a 4-minute time advantage, and now he's under jayjaydee. So let's see what's going on here. I expect that since he's verified his reserve deck, he doesn't have good draws. If he had good draws, it might be like a little bit easier for him to battle in the Ray, knowing that things would work. But I guess here, if he's looking at like a 3-3, for example, uh, he might be in a tough spot. Looks like he's going to battle into the war room anyway. Let's see if he fires or not. If he doesn't fire, it means he probably doesn't have the draw he needs. Maybe he does anyway, just to see which pops where. power 4 to power 11 right now. So Ray covers everything. So as is, at least that power difference there. Let's see what's going on here. JJD dropped and drew with his commander Vanden Willard, which means that like Wirfs isn't firing. It looks like so. I think he's just get drawn a 3 here. Would be my guess. And there it is. And so I don't think there's going to be any battle damage here, unfortunately, for Chris Wirfs. Good for JJD, and he draws a 6, which is a tough one to get around. So Ray's got to go, but 2 characters have to go for Wirfs, of course, or draws in her own with ability 4 there. So it's not too bad here. JJD only has 3 cards in circulation, though, so at least he's got enough to battle with Luke. But now we see the uh, Slave 1 come down to the beach here to mitigate that drain. One thing that's interesting about JJD's predicament here is, he can't battle in space super easily. You have to draw your power destinies before your battle destinies. So that's not something he can wind up doing here. Um, and he might need to just answer the drain at uh, the war room anyway. Anyway, so JJD is showing 5 total, 2 in hand, 3 in life force. Wirfs has 1 in hand, 10 in life force, and he's getting uh, drain of 2 in. I'm sorry, a force loss of 2, I should say. And so there's the 2 cards. Now, what's interesting is he's got a bunch of stuff at the beach here. Power 17 total. They all get power plus 1 because of all that cool stuff. But he's looking to battle off here Hondo with Luke Skywalker. There's a good 5 that I'm sure is nice for him to kind of be able to track around for some sort of battle. So Luke draws a 5. As long as Hondo draws like a 1 here, there won't be any battle damage. Well, he can't draw anything. Sorry, there'll be 1 battle damage. Luke needs like a super cool ability person there in order for them to have a battle destiny greater than 0. All right, we're down to like a minute for Wirfs here. So I think Wirfs, I think he has this. Uh, just needs to not time out. And I think he can do that within a minute. He's JJD's down to 2 life force. I don't know why he didn't move U3P over. Um, I don't think Luke can move with no idea. I thought that moving U3PO over and then moving Hondo over might have been a good idea, but didn't do it. All right, 40 seconds for Wirfs here, but if he can get that drain through at the War Room, that's all he needs. In fact, I don't think there's any way for JJD to get a force back here. Differential is important, Ketwall, but I'll go through the standings at the end of this. Um, this match in particular, it's kind of like whoever wins this is kind of as the driver's seat for the league or for the pod, I should say, because of the fact that Wirfs has such a high differential and JJD has kind of like a even differential. So Wirfs is going to peel some stuff. I'm not sure he cares too much, just as long as he's able to get it done in 40 seconds here. And then the Aura Singh at the War Room will probably put this match away unless I'm missing something here. And even if there was a way to get one back for Wirfs, for JJD, there's still the drain at the prison there would give him a total of 3 this upcoming turn. It looks like that's it. So Wirfs isn't through yet, but he's probably through, and so I'll give you the um, standings once we're done here. So that's that. Wirfs has a win by 5 here. So just taking a look at that group there, Wirfs is going to go up to 8 points with 66 differential, and Konsker is going to be at 4 points with a -5 differential. Jared has 2 games in hand versus Dan Tartaglione. So basically, if Jared just like completely crushes Dan, you know, uh, twice, that would be the only way that he would basically get in front of Chris Wirfs on differential. But he would need a ratchet back like basically 70 differential over 2 games. So like we're talking about like wins by like +30 and +40 or something like that over Dan in order to do it. So that's what we're looking at as far as that. Uh, that's what we're looking at as far as that pod play there. But congratulations to Wirfs. Good game, obviously, for JGD. It was really entertaining, super close. They're showing 33 seconds and 32 on their timer, so they used every single little bit of it there. There should be some additional champion stream coverage. Check out the SWCCG PC channel. So that's twitch.tv/SWCCG PC. There will be some other stuff I think coming up over the next couple days here, but I'll sign off for now. Thanks for taking a look at my streams here. Hope you guys all have a Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays. And thanks all for watching.